If you think your reload speed is going to be the difference between life or death, then prepare to be disappointed. But if you're looking to get into Kydex Mag Carriers or changing the ones you do have, then this should help you make an informed decision. This was supposed to be a comparison video, and it kind of still is, but when doing my research, I realized that TX Arms updated their Mag Carriers recently, and those ones I don't have. In the update video from TX Arms on their new carriers, he goes over all of the issues with the Mars carriers, which was going to be the basis as to why I was going to tell you the TXC Mag Carriers are better. But just in case you still have the original TX Arms Mars carriers, I'll still give you that information. If you're not subscribed, you probably should be, and don't forget to interact with this video by doing absolutely anything down below. Before I really get into this, I was sent these TXC carriers for free to review them with no strings attached. I have no affiliation with TXC holsters, and I'm not selling you anything. I've used the apparently now Gen 1 version of the TX Arms Mag Carriers for about 5 years, and I own 2 different sets. There isn't anything wrong with them, and they do work just fine. But when I got my TXC carriers, I immediately felt a noticeable difference in the way the carrier applies pressure to the magazine while the magazine is seated, which leads to a smoother draw of the magazine itself. The best way I can explain why that is because the Gen 1 TX Arms Mars carriers, there's more surface area of polymer actually gripping the magazine itself. Whereas on the TXC carriers, you pull through less polymer because less of the inside of the carrier is actually gripping the magazine. This is due to the pressure only being applied to the magazine from the one side through this shelf. It does appear based on the design and the explanation of the new TX carriers that they did solve the retention issue with the Gen 1. Again, I can't say that for certain because I don't have that version. I understand for most people that's really a non-factor when it comes to making a decision one way or another, but it does exist. The other added benefit which I prefer is the standoff that the TXC carriers allow you to achieve from your belt because of its design on the back side of the carrier. In order for me to achieve that same standoff with the Mars carriers, I had to add large rubber spacers, and it mostly worked but also made the carrier occasionally flex slightly during the draw process. That standoff from the belt isn't something the version 1 Mars carriers provide, and it doesn't appear the version 2 carriers provide that either, since the back side of both carriers are identical. TX Arms added extra retention onto the Ragnarok, which makes it look slightly bulkier than the TXC Mag carrier. The Ragnarok carriers, like the version 1 Mars carriers, allows you to angle your carrier through a series of holes, while the TXC carrier gives you more options for adjustment through their rear design. As far as pricing is concerned, which is a big deal to pretty much everybody since a bag of groceries costs you $67, there's not much of a difference. The TXC holsters will likely cost you a little bit more, but that's primarily due to the shipping. TX Arms offers a flat rate shipping of $8, whereas TXC ships the more traditional method, which is calculated based off of your location. I was relieved to see my tech locks were already installed, because if there's anything I hate, it's messing with all the screws and Loctite, which is why I'm staying with the tech locks and not removing and installing my Guardian Warrior Solutions Tigris attachments. Not because those attachments aren't awesome, it's just because I'm lazy. If you think this is a decent review so far and you're having a good time, be sure to feed the algorithm down below so we can encourage people to make educated decisions with their money. I reached out to TXC holsters and I learned that their carriers don't ship already installed on the tech locks. If you're a cop, you probably know what angle you already like, because we wear all kinds of mostly necessary gear on our belts, which means straight up and down will probably be ideal. I'm also fairly confident that the angle of your carriers won't determine whether or not you win a gunfight. I'm curious to know why we're in a gunfight to begin with and not a shooting, and probably even more concerned on how exactly we are in dire need of round 18 to begin with. TX Arms did mention in their upgrade video that they do offer the option to have their tech locks installed when you purchase them, but I didn't see that option to actually do that in the checkout process. Maybe the biggest downside altogether in a day and age where Amazon has conditioned us to expect products in 2 days or less is that you will have to agree to a 4 to 6 week lead time when purchasing the TXC holsters because the order volume and the molding process. In conclusion, the TXC carriers are slightly less bulky, they give you a little bit of standoff from your belt, and you have a little bit more freedom to angle your carrier. TXC carriers are a significant improvement from the Mars carriers, correcting all the problems TX Arms says they corrected in their new Ragnarok carriers. My only suggestion is that TXC holsters offers you the opportunity to receive your carriers already installed in the tech locks, and that TX Arms allows you to select everything you may need with your mag carriers on the same page. I do recommend the TXC carriers because we all know looking cool is 75% of your concern. They're less bulky, offer you more position options, and give you the standoff from your belt. If I haven't encouraged you yet to subscribe and interact with this video, then there's probably no saving you, but at least I tried.